Hey everybody, Katie Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy in the New Earth Now School with your Zen Within Stay update. In fact, as I'm recording this, it is actually Tuesday, 8/8, peak of Lionsgate portal, depending on who you talk to. Everybody has different opinion on that right now, it seems. But we have a very special energy present here on this 8/8 portal day, and so I thought I would record this a little early and try to get it out to you all so you can have an idea of what's going on in the energies. So tomorrow, 8/9 at 7:30 p.m., I have a healing circle planned, and we're going to be working with these Lionsgate energies and working with the divine fire of transformation. Okay, so what does that mean? What are the energies asking us to do right now? Number one, as I mentioned in my energy update this month, we are being asked to get more comfortable existing in the not knowing. And I know that is not a comfortable place to be for many of us. We want to know exactly what's happening. We want to know what's coming next. We want to know what the plan is. We want to know how to actualize into that plan. And we want to be able to take those next steps as efficiently as possible, right? I know that's the case for many of us, myself included, most of the time. But these energies right now are asking us to exist in the not knowing. And so things are changing. You may have an awareness right now that things are changing, that you are shifting into a new version of yourself, that things around you are shifting into new versions of themselves, but you may not have an awareness of what that's going to ultimately look like and how it's going to impact you. And so I'm noticing that there's a lot of deep fear getting triggered for people, and that we're being asked to be willing to create change and exist in change, even though we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's a challenging frequency. I think it's a challenging frequency for all of us. And I do, though, see the divine intelligence in this. And I do see how there is this big energy that's present right now, this energy portal that's present, that is driving us to want more, to be more, to do more. And in order to get there, we may need to let go of what already exists, and we may need to do that with somewhat of a wild abandon. And I can see how challenging that might be for a lot of us and how much resistance might be arising. So you may be experiencing resistance right now. You may be having some anxiety. You may be having some constriction in the body. You may be having some pain in the body. You may be having some conflict in your relationships. These are all ways that this energy can present itself. But what it is asking us to do is to be willing to anchor into change, even though we don't know what's going to happen, even though there may not be a plan, even though we don't know what the outcome is going to be. That's what the energies are asking us for right now, or asking of us right now. And so this idea of what we're going to be working on in Healing Circle tomorrow, of the divine fire of transformation, says, okay, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know what ultimately is going to happen, but I am willing to allow the fire of transformation to move through my body, my being, my life, so that I can anchor into the highest possible version of myself and the highest possible timeline as soon as possible. That's the invitation. And so when we're dealing with things like resistance, the first step is always to be in a place of awareness and allow that awareness to come forward. What is it that I am resisting? What am I even feeling? What am I even experiencing? Be in that place of awareness. When we're in that place of awareness, we create openness. And when we create openness, we create curiosity. And when we have curiosity, we begin to create more desire in our field that magnetizes those changes to us without us even needing to know exactly how they're going to happen. Okay, so part of existing in desire and existing in openness is really tapping into that feminine energy of not knowing, that feminine energy that says, all of the potentials are possible. And I'm not going to allow myself to be afraid of that any longer. I'm going to allow this idea of infinite possibility, of infinite change that could happen in any number of ways, to be exciting and invigorating and create enthusiasm for me instead of fear. Because remember that fear energy is just a future energy activation response. It's you thinking about what might happen and drawing the energy of that to you, and then your body interpreting that, your nervous system interpreting that as a signal that there is something that I need to be afraid of. There is an action that I need to take. I need to flee. I need to run away. Okay, so in order to counteract the fear that gets activated when we're moving through these big portals of change and we're stepping into newer versions of ourselves and we're coming into a greater degree of self-actualization, is to give ourselves the time and the space and the awareness to feel the totality of what is happening, right? Feel the fear, experience the fear, understand it, be with it, right? But then realize that it does not have to rule the day. It does not have to keep you from saying yes to that thing that is coming no matter what, right? The more quickly you can say yes to the change, even if you don't know what it is, even if you don't know how it's going to come to be, even if you're afraid of it, the less resistance you're going to have and the more easily these energies are going to flow in. We are in a process right now where we are shifting timelines, okay? These are big jumps in awareness. These are big shifts in our life. These are big changes in our relationships. These are big things that we're manifesting right now. This is not small potatoes, my friends. So you may have a ton of resistance present right now. You may have a ton of things coming up. That's okay. It doesn't mean that something bad is happening. It doesn't mean that you're not supported. It doesn't mean that the world is coming to an end. You're just having some resistance. So how can you be in awareness with that? How can you allow these divine fires of transformation to pass through your being unencumbered, to let them alchemize and burn away what isn't serving? How can you allow that change even though you don't know what's going to happen? And for so long, many of us have manifested from that planning mentality where we have to have the full plan, we have to have it fully articulated, we have to know what's coming in order to actualize into that change and that new beginning. And that is not how we manifest anymore, my friends. We manifest much more in the present moment than we ever have. We manifest more from that feminine self than we ever have. And this is a new frequency that some of us are getting used to. And I think it's getting easier. This is not the first time that we have been through one of these portals where this energy has been activated. And I think every time we get better and better at dealing with it. So give yourselves a lot of grace right now. Give yourselves a lot of space and just pay really close attention. Make sure you set aside time to listen in and be in awareness of where you are in resistance and what's coming up for you so that you can work through it, so that you can be with it and work through it. And don't be afraid of change, even if you don't know what's going to happen. All right. So that is my update for you all this week. I hope these Lionsgate energies are treating you so well. I hope maybe you'll consider joining us on 8/9 for our healing circle on Wednesday, this Wednesday, 8/9 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be working with these Lionsgate energies, learning more about change, learning more about resistance, and working with the divine fire of transformation. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.